fast forward any come our channel so Haxi GH Politics Avenue podcast also training because make headlines and your jumbre na you be exomo our need me home braxi mu say NAD kan ya message which must subscribe to the channel hit notification bell also share na for France so answer into me can need me home braxi mu onu ya yanku simu na ye kwen simu a NSS onu ya kitase she proye ne kankanya e course wo ho no secret conversation bi etimi course so between Madam Gifty or say any Mr. Asibe Omia telephone conversation no security expert bi etimi Decodes or dia kwakoma attorney general no Omia case no emu ehu a enya asem koto akra na me no ka say IGP etimi abeg pardon AG etimi intercept audio na omu probe into the matter at this point in time you run simunum na ehwe ne yeko ene de ba how say GH Politics Avenue nyamishira wonyo ka say wajemre e ha yenkoyin simu
of the National Service Authority or CSCB and former Deputy Executive Director of the authority Gifty Mensa have been charged for allegedly authorizing payment of allowances to the tune of 69,934 non-existent ghost National Service personnel per the charge sheet filed at the High Court in Accra on October 13. The former National Service Authority boss is accused of authorizing payments to over 60,000 non-existent National Service personnel and misappropriating public funds during his tenure between August 2021 and February 2025. The Attorney General and Minister of Justice, Dr. Dominic Ayine, stated that between August 2021 and February 2025, CSCB allegedly authorized payments of 500.86 million Ghana cedis in allowances to over 60,000 non-existent National Service personnel. He faces 14 counts comprising causing financial loss, stealing and money laundering under sections 179A 1 and 1241 of the Criminal Offences Act, Act 29, and Section 12C of the Anti-Money Laundering Act 2020, Act 1044. The former director, Deputy Executive Director, Gifty Mensa, who is on a separate charge sheet, alleged to have generated 9,934 ghost names from the National Service Authority's central management systems. She is also alleged to have taken control of Blocks of Life Consult Limited by making her mother's driver one of the company's directors. She has been accused of presenting the company to ADB with the explanation that she has supplied goods on hire purchase to the 9,934 ghost names and wanted to use the allowances as collateral for the facility. The alleged scheme allowed her to fraudulently obtain 38,458,248,000 from the bank through source deductions of the 9,934 non-existent allowances over 11 months. She faces 5 counts, including willfully causing financial loss to the state, using public office for profit, and money laundering. The two are expected to be arraigned at the High Court in Accra in the coming days to respond to the charges. And let's go to our legal affairs correspondent, Murtala Inusa, on phone. Murtala, good morning to you once again. Tell us more.
Well, Lily, like you have indicated yesterday, the 2 separate charges were filed, and then these 2 accused persons are expected to appear before the court. But the checks by way of update that I'm giving you right now in respect to these 2 separate cases is that an allocation has been made. The exact court is being worked on by the registry, just so that once everything is finalized, we know exactly which court they will be appearing as to whether the 2 separate cases will be before the same court, whether they will be in separate courts. And that is likely to happen any time from tomorrow. The indication is that it might not happen. The appearance probably will not happen today.
Okay.
But subsequently, or hopefully tomorrow, when the assignment is done, which you expect, Gifty Mensa, and of course, CSCB appeared before. But what is clear is that the 2 officials are expected to appear before the court in some day to respond to the various charges that have been leveled against them.
And then on the issue of Charles Bissiu coming in court, do you have any update on that?
So what is clear now is that the trial before Justice Audrey Kokubite was expected to start today by way of officials from the Office of the Special Prosecutor calling their very first witness. What happened was that when the case was called, OSP officials indicated to the court that they have filed the last of their witness statement, and therefore the business for the day will be that the case management conference is conducted to sort out things. And yes, indeed, the court was informed that it's a pen drive containing some conversation, of course, that took place between the accused person and then the witnesses, and they want the court to take note of that. And also, the relevant portions of what they want to make their case very tight have been extracted and printed on a hard copy, also put before the court. Investigation caution statement obtained from the accused person, including Mr. Charles Bissiu, all of them were put before the court. But what the indication, and one interesting thing that took place was that when the witness was going to call, the officials from the OSP indicated to the court that the witness, their first witness, is an investigator, and so they want the court cleared. They did not want his testimony to be done in open court, so everyone except the direct parties to be present, which the court did agree to that. But subsequently, the case has been adjourned because lawyers of the accused persons, including Charles Bissiu, were of the view that, look, this kind of thing cannot happen in camera. It should be in an open. And that particular motion or oral submission that he made before the court has been adjourned for a determination. So sometime on the 24th of October, it is expected to come out and the court will make a determination as to whether to hear the witness in camera or the case must be heard in open court.
All right. Captain, keep monitoring and update us subsequently. Let's move to Nusa. He is our legal affairs correspondent. Now, the Ghana Maritime Authority has announced plans to tackle the increasing number of boat disasters on the country's water bodies. This comes in the wake of a tragic incident on the Volta Lake in the Karachi West Municipality, where at least 15 people, including 11 children, lost their lives between 2021 and 2025. Between 2021 and 2025, more than 40 lives have been lost in boat accidents on the Volta Lake and other riverine areas across the country. The Ghana Maritime Authority attributes the majority of these incidents, 90% of them, to human error, alongside poor weather conditions and obstacles on the water. Speaking on GH Today earlier, CEO of the Ghana Maritime Authority, Dr. Kamaldeen Ali, revealed that the authority is collaborating with traditional leaders in coastal communities to develop inland water regulations.
Because the people in the community grow with the boat, certain times they started at their very young age, and it is then assumed that the child should be able to man it effectively under all circumstances. That should not be the case. We are working on what we call the inland water regulations, which are going to be laid before Parliament. Just like, for example, the Ministry of Transport is also working on regulations to ensure the safety of Okada and other things. So these regulations will be deepened to provide for certain level of minimum age, also to provide for some level of training, and ultimately for the commercial one, some level of certification. But let me say that ultimately, given how diverse our inland water areas are, our approach is to work more and more with the community leaders. The community leaders, especially the chiefs and opinion leaders, can help a lot in this area. So we are going to also have, and we have started that already, a community leadership drive for safety, so that the community leaders will become part of the discussion and discourse of safety.
Now, Dr. Kamaldeen Ali further disclosed that the authority is in the process of recruiting and training 300 safety guards by the end of the year. These guards will be responsible for enforcing compliance with the new regulations on the water.
The critical thing that is going to happen soon is that we are recruiting what we call safety guards. The safety guards will be in the community. let's look at it this way. You need as many people on the ground as possible if people are not compliant. It's just like having police. The truth is that we don't need to have those numbers to ensure compliance if people are compliant. But in the absence of people not complying, you need as many people as possible.
Okay.
So what we are doing is to recruit people from the community that will be safety guards. They will be trained and deployed by the end of the year. By the end of the year, for example, we intend to have 250 to 300 safety guards that will be deployed in the communities. So this will be people from the community working with opinion leaders in the community and ensuring that the basic requirements are complied with.
In relation to this, Vice President Professor Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman is expected in the area to commiserate with the bereaved family of the 15 victims who perished in the accident on the Volta Lake. In a statement issued earlier, the Vice President extended the government's heartfelt condolences to the bereaved families, the affected community, and all those impacted by the tragedy. Let's go over the phone and engage our correspondent in the area, James Amekudi. Hi, James. I don't know if you are in a good place, but there's a feedback. James, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Okay, good. I can hear you now. Has the Vice President, together with the Transport Minister, arrived in the area?
Not yet. In anticipation that in a few minutes to come, the Vice President is going to be with the people here in the Akroma, in the Krachi West municipality of the Sěcreťe. If you come to the area, it's a solemn and a somber atmosphere here. The people are in anticipation of the Vice President of the control. I'm happy that the chiefs and people are already seated, waiting for the Vice President to come and then also communicate with the bereaved family.
How many families are we talking about here?
We're talking about close to 6 families, because the people who have been perished, they're numbering about 15 of them. So we have about 5 or 6 families that the Vice President is expected to communicate with them today.
Now, James, tell us about this area. What do we know about this area with respect to boat accidents?
If you recall, this is not the first time issues of this nature have happened. We've had a countless number of boat accidents, but presumably Okumakura is a town, a suburb in the Krachi West municipality, where it's the fishing community, and oftentimes the people commute via boats. And then last Saturday, that was the 11th of October, this tragedy occurred one more time, which is a big blow to the people over there. If you come here, they are in a somber mood because of the tragedy that has befallen.
Now, tell us the state of the persons who survived this unfortunate accident. Yes, I can hear you. I'm asking, I know that some persons survived this incident. Tell us about their state. Are they still in the hospital? What is their current state as we speak?
Currently, yes, those that survived, they are currently recuperating. Some have been discharged, some are still at the hospital receiving treatment. In the coming days, we expect that the doctors tell us that they will get better and then they will join their family members.
What of the one person who is still unaccounted for? What's the current, what's the latest on that?
Yes, I had an interview with the regional NADMO officer in front of Mr. Danso, and he tells me that the search is still ongoing. Where to assess the body as we speak so far. So the person is not accounted for as we speak.
We know that in this incident, it was a child manning the supposed boat. Is that a practice? Is that something that is very prevalent in that community or along that coast?
I cannot confirm that right now, but what we are told is that we have about 11 children on the boat, and then 4 adults, and then 10 have been rescued as we speak, and 15 people have been confirmed dead. In all, there were 25 on board, the speed boat we're talking about here.
Okay. All right, James, we'll leave it here for now, but I'm sure we'll come back to you when the Vice President is there. But do we know the form of engagement this is going to take? They're going to present some items to families. Do we know the form?
Yes, per the letter we received yesterday, the Vice President is expected to be in the area to commiserate with the family and then the people of Okumakura and then the women, and then also introduce, or as it were, present some government support items to the affected communities and then the family members of these people. That's what we're talking about.
Okay, James, thank you very much. That's a reporter, man on the ground, James Amekudi from the UT region. Now, a long-standing payment dispute between a contractor and the Esukuma Odobing Senior High School in Ghana's central region has led to the lockup of the school by the contractor. Kofi Jansa, head of Roga Construction Company, locked the school gates to prevent students from entering the classrooms. He alleges that 14 years ago, his company built a 4-unit classroom block, that's 8 classrooms for the school, but has not been paid by the government. Despite sending numerous letters to previous administrations, Mr. Johnson says his concerns were ignored. He decried neglect and said the only option he has is to close the school until he has been paid. This closure has caused serious concerns among parents, students, and educators as academic activities have come to a halt.
The main reason of closing up the school is to get my money to be paid. Simply because 14 years I made a blog, you see, and Ochina and there. I've written numerous of letters. Still now, I could do one, headmaster, or retirement. We could do this stress, or my car to rate now, and see, but this year, I think I cannot take it any longer. Yeah, but and I may buy some baby close. No more pay choice. It will be a disgrace for the government. So 14, on to Yamika. And to mean China, year election, we are on to Yamika. After election, 9 months in the year, get into 1 year and also maintain it. So the best of it is for me to take this action. I sympathize that's the me one more but if I am their father, I think they will bear with me. So me mean yes can could me about school fees, needs and etc. And I sympathize with them, but I think what I would say enough is enough. For 14 good years, nobody could do that.
Let's still stay on construction. The Ghana Chamber of Construction Industry has appealed to government to urgently release funds to pay outstanding arrears owed road contractors, consultants and suppliers in the construction sector. This follows several assurances from President John Dramani Mahama that all arrears will be cleared by the end of July 2025. Speaking to Star News, Chief Executive Officer of the Chamber, Emmanuel Cherry, revealed that a dire financial situation has forced most contractors to abandon site.
Have a dialogue, sit at with them, and let them understand that this is the challenge that they themselves have been confronted with, and therefore they should give the contractors some method of time for us to take around. And anytime at all we paid, we also honor our obligations as statutory. Most of the contractors are packed out of sight. Now the minister is having a hell of time negotiating the contractors who appeal to them for them to go back and continue by the process their certificates for them. Secondly, most of the construction firms are laying off workers, which is also national security threat to the entire economy. Because if workers become citizens becomes redundant or possibly unemployed, what do you think will happen? So these are some of the challenges as we speak now. And then thirdly, most of these construction workers, most of them have found themselves in the Galati side.
Now, access to healthcare and professional training remains a major challenge in many parts of Ghana, especially in the Western North region. But a new project by the Ministry of Health is set to change that. Health Minister Kwabena Minta-Akando has cut sword for the construction of a new nursing training college and the expansion of the government hospital in Sehu-Dwaboso district. The move is aimed at improving healthcare delivery and creating training opportunities for the next generation of nurses.
Communities have faced limited access to both healthcare services and professional medical training. The only government hospital in the area struggles to meet the growing demand, while many young people with dreams of becoming nurses are forced to travel long distances for training. Now, that is about to change. The health minister and member of parliament for the area, Kwabena Minta Kando, has cut the sword for the construction of a modern nursing training college and to expand the Dwaboso Government Hospital. He says the initiative forms part of the government's broader plan to strengthen health infrastructure and improve human resource development across the country.
Yes, as nursing training college, dear, Nelso, you say that the Bay Suku Cassia Pa, a better say by next year, dear. The
minister appealed to the traditional authorities and the district assembly to ensure that all land and documentation processes are handled properly to avoid disputes that could delay the project.
Project you can right from day one. So yen to asasi. Inti ye besre yen pese ye de ano keke. De be ka se o asasi ni mu panya adwuma. Inti ye besre se yen hwese ye ni DC en nananom wani enko nkratasem no eho. The
director of infrastructure at the Ministry of Health, Ben Amponsang Cancer, outlined the components of the new college, including lecture halls, dormitories, laboratories, and staff accommodation.
In the 3-story classroom, 3-story hostel facility, any staff accommodation, auditorium, maybe a complete school. This is a very school.
District Chief Executive for Dwaboso, Alexander Eduquist, praised the initiative and promised the Assembly's full support.
That should tell you, say, they are going to bring their equipment. No matter say
the acting president of the Sěcreťe traditional area, Nana Ofori Ahenka II, describing the project as a blessing that will transform lives and create opportunities for the youth.
The area can say, Mwabia Muhiano, and Mamon and Kame, Nanefima or Dwaboso Haya, Mokona so to train and answer, Momram Ho Bonzai.
The medical superintendent of the Dwaboso Government Hospital, Dr. Solomon.
We ayan sama horo timi course watch no so mam no ase wo jemre e wo hada sene so ba de no e de adumbi edum ye ne onia ye be sen hia mu ne asomo kwan sonko so kra aha GH Politics Avenue.